Presented by Listen Headlines. Latest financial news from trusted sources. Updating daily noontime New York City.
The Library of Economics and Liberty.
June 22, 11:20 America, New York, killing 4 birds with 1 stone. Suppose that you wish to achieve the following 4 objectives. 1. Helping Vladimir Putin win the war in Ukraine. 2. Worsening global warming. 3. Worsening the budget deficit.
Daily FX Market News. June 22, 11 o'clock America, New York. S&P 500. Nasdaq 100 push-off session lows as Fed Chair Powell testifies. Equities erase pre-market losses as Fed Chair Jerome Powell testifies on Capitol Hill.
BBC News. Business. June 22, 10:51 America, New York. Rail strike. Thursday's walkout will go ahead, says the RMT union. The RMT accuses Transport Secretary Grant Shapps of wrecking talks as it confirms the walkout.
BBC News Business.
June 22, 10:51 America, New York. Rail strike. Thursday's walkout will go ahead, says the RMT union. The RMT accuses Transport Secretary Grant Shapps of wrecking talks as it confirms the walkout.
New York Times Business. June 22, 10:35 America, New York. Will Biden's gas tax holiday make a difference? Many economists say suspending federal taxes on gas will not significantly cut prices for consumers. Gas is not cheap in New York and elsewhere.
New York Times Business. June 22, 10:14 America, New York. Powell warns that further inflation surprises could loom ahead. Jerome H. Powell, the chair of the Federal Reserve, is testifying before a Senate committee at a moment of rapid inflation and rising interest rates.
Daily FX Market News.
June 22, 10:10 America, New York. U.S. dollar price action setups. EUR, USD, GBP, USD, USD, CAD, USD, JPY. We're coming up on the end of Q2 and the U.S. dollar bullish trend is more than a year old. What's in store for Q3? Can the Fed remain as the most hawkish game in town?
New York Times Business.
June 22, 10:05 America, New York. Businessman tied to China Alibaba rape case gets 18 months. A court found Giang guilty of forcible indecency. The tech giant fired his accuser last year after she claimed that he had molested her and that her boss had raped her. The incident attracted national attention last year when the woman, known by only her surname, Joe, screamed about it at an Alibaba cafeteria.
Wall Street Journal Markets.
June 22, 10:03 America, New York. India's fintech reckoning arrives. Regulators are cracking down on Indian financial technology firms, many of them backed by deep-pocketed foreign capital, that were flourishing in the gray areas. Investors, proceed with caution.
Daily FX Market News.
June 22, 10 o'clock America, New York. DAX, Dow and FTSE resume sell-off on sliding commodities and inflation worries. It's back into the red again, as Fed Chair Powell's testimony begins.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
June 22, 10 o'clock America, New York. Inflation surge earns monetarism another look. Surging money supply and inflation in the last year have followers of the late Nobel Prize-winning economist Milton Friedman declaring, "Told you so."
Global economy. June 22, 9:58 America, New York. Lebanese lenders claim IMF plan to seize assets breaks the law. Proposal to seize assets labeled unlawful and unconstitutional. Global economy.
June 22, 9:40 America, New York. Powell seeks to allay recession fears but warns of inflation surprises. Federal Reserve Chair says U.S. economy, well positioned, to handle tighter monetary policy. Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
June 22, 9:30 America, New York. Powell says Fed needs inflation slowdown to alter rate rise path. Chairman Jerome Powell said the Federal Reserve plans to continue raising interest rates until it sees clear proof that inflation is slowing to the central bank's 2% target.
Global economy.
June 22, 9:12 America, New York. Are commodities an inflation hedge or the opposite? Navigating a course between Skyla, Charybdis and a permabear.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. June 22, 9 o'clock America, New York. Warner Music CEO to step down next year. Steve Cooper, who has been CEO since 2011, steered Warner Music's turnaround by embracing streaming, which led to the company doubling its revenue and taking market share from larger competitors.
Wall Street Journal Markets.
June 22, 8:30 America, New York. Dallas Cowboys owner scores on billion-dollar natural gas gambit. Jerry Jones bought control of Comstock Resources at the depths of the gas bust, and now his stake is worth more than twice what he paid.
The Library of Economics and Liberty.
June 22, 8:05 America, New York. Competition as a process. In one of the sessions of the one-day colloquium on Harold Demsetz, moderator Harry D'Angelo asked Joe Colt, Bob Topol, and me to reminisce about Harold as a person and also about his contributions to us and to economics.
Digital Finance. June 22, 7:47 America, New York. Altiv prepares to blast off with private SpaceX fund. The HK Wealth Tech company is growing fast via funds offering exposure to private companies. The post Altiv prepares to blast off with private SpaceX fund appeared first on Digital Finance.
Wall Street Journal Markets.
June 22, 7:46 America, New York. Binance. US eliminates spot trading fees on Bitcoin. The exchange's users can trade Bitcoin for the US dollar, Tether, other stablecoins without spot trading fees.
Marginal Revolution.
June 22, 7:27 America, New York. The Birds and the Bees. Ocean City, New Jersey hires falconers to keep the seagulls off the boardwalk. In fact, they are looking for more trainees. West Coast Falconry explains more generally. Falconry-based bird abatement is quiet, discreet, organic, eco-friendly, and very sustainable.
BBC News Business.
June 22, 6:45 America, New York. Chancellor Rishi Sunak defends likely pensions rise. There's criticism of the move as ministers warn workers not to expect pay rises to match increasing costs.
BBC News. Business.
June 22, 6:45 America, New York. Chancellor Rishi Sunak defends likely pensions rise. There's criticism of the move as ministers warn workers not to expect pay rises to match increasing costs.